Here are my 9 note cards for my informative speech. Hi, good afternoon. My name is James Allers, and today I will be informing you about the dark triad of personality traits. Today with me I have
Aaron,
Lucille,
Camille,
Michael,
Robert.
You all may be wondering what the term the dark triad means, or even what it describes. As stated by Psychology Today, the dark triad is defined as a set of traits that include a tendency to seek admiration and special treatment, to be callous and insensitive, and to manipulate others. The first written piece in history describing one of these traits, specifically Machiavellianism, was the centerpiece of the controversial book The Prince, written in 1513 by Niccolò Machiavelli during the Italian Renaissance. This eventually inspired infamous dictators such as Adolf Hitler, Benito Mussolini, and Joseph Stalin some 400 years after the book was written. The other traits are narcissism and psychopathy, which have been deeply embedded in society for centuries. And according to researchers, these traits are becoming even more common nowadays than they were back then. Over the years, I've encountered many people who have had these traits, and by seeing this, I have become more aware of these types of people on a daily basis. Additionally, I have seen this become more discussed in my classes, the TV shows, and the movies I watch, and this has sparked quite an interest for me to examine this topic further throughout this speech. The term Machiavellian is defined as cunning, scheming, and unscrupulous, especially in politics or in advancing in one's career. The word derives from Niccolò Machiavelli's name and is normally associated with higher jobs in the workplace, politics, or journalism. Machiavellians are known to be highly skilled in manipulation, and sometimes they could even be so skilled that they can invade their peers' minds, and in some cases, they can cause emotional damage, suicidal thoughts, and the need for everyone around them to quit their job as well. But in the end, it always almost ends up being a win for the Machiavellian and a loss for the person affected. Additionally, Machiavellians are subtle when planning intentions. They prioritize a cynical outlook on friendships, family relationships, and their personal romantic relationships, and they almost always make impulses at times when they sense quote-unquote weakness in their surroundings. Most are charming, friendly, accepting, and welcoming. However, when they are triggered, they could flip on a dime and will use any individual around them that they feel the need to target as a stepping stone to get to their highest of goals. In 1970, psychologists Richard Christies and Florence Geis came up with the Mach 4 test to measure how manipulative one could be. Throughout this test, they found that more men possess this trait than women, and it was self-made, and it was learned by observations that the individual experienced. In the US in 2020, approximately 66% of the workplace, specifically jobs related to politics, journalism, or in office buildings, are taken up by males, while 44% is taken up by females. It is hypothesized that because of this fact, Machiavellianism is found more in men than women because of their working environment and because these jobs eventually come down to rapidly moving up in the end. As well as being extremely manipulative, intelligent, cunning, and many other things, it has been found that Machiavellians actually numb themselves because they are so fixated on their perversion of success and how they perceive the world around them, that they will prioritize convenience through manipulation so that they can achieve their goals. In the past, it was theorized that Machiavellian traits in males were caused by inconsistent parenting, more specifically from their father. Now, psychologists believe, with more research, that these traits are caused by the environment that they are both raised in and work in. Next, we will be examining the second trait, which is narcissism. This trait has been explored and conveyed for thousands of years in Greek mythology, pop culture, social media, and in the general society on a daily basis. Narcissists, being named after the Greek demigod Narcissus, tend to have an immense affection for themselves, and sometimes they even find themselves to be their own inspiration, no one else. In situations where they become insecure, they look to others for comfort to lift themselves up on a podium. However, in return, they make the person comforting them feel bad about themselves. Unlike Machiavellians, narcissism, or narcissistic personality disorder, starts at a very young age and is created from a combination of genetic mutations and environmental factors. Traditionally, it was thought that women possess this personality trait more than men. However, now it was actually proven that 50 to 75% of men have NPD because of the different ways of growing up. However, Only 0.5 to 1% of the general population is affected by narcissistic personality disorder. As stated by Sane Australia, narcissism is described as to be a paradox. People with NPD may act superior and confident to the world around them. However, in reality and on the inside, they are extremely fragile and they lack severe self-esteem. Moreover, people with NPD tend to experience an abundance of harsh self-criticism, insecurity, waves of paranoia, hypersensitivity, and loneliness. Finally, we will explore the final and most famous trait that makes up the dark triad, psychopathy. Psychopathy can be used interchangeably with the term sociopathy, or psychopath and sociopath, as both technically have a similar meaning and similar effects on the mind. However, sociopaths are almost entirely antisocial on the inside. However, they are forced to be social because of the environment that they are placed on, which causes them to lash out. Psychopaths and Machiavellianisms and narcissists make these groups of people highly manipulative. Why I say this is because sometimes these people can carry all of these traits at once, which makes them highly dangerous to the people around them. Additionally, psychopathy can go hand in hand with the other traits in the dark triad. And sometimes, like I said before, it may become very dangerous and lead them into a criminal lifestyle as well as severe depression. In conclusion, these topics sparked great interest in me, again, even while researching for this speech, and I am sure that this speech and this information will have sparked a great deal of interest in you as well. The personality trait of psychopaths, Machiavellians, and narcissists are definitely complex subjects, and even they are hard to understand for a psychologist or professionals, and to me sometimes. Hopefully, I have answered all of your questions pertaining to this subject, and I've informed you well. Thank you.